Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. In Trinidad and Tobago, a 28-year-old man and his wife were killed on Tuesday morning during an alleged confrontation with police in Enterprise, Traguanas. The couple was identified as Anthony St. Louis, aka Bago, and Niyama Alexander of Walters Lane, Enterprise, Traguanas. Police said they believed the two were conspirators in a plot to assassinate the Commissioner of Prisons. Around 5:30 a.m. on Tuesday, officers attached to the Central Division were executing a search warrant for firearms and ammunition when they heard noises coming from the Walters Lane home of St. Louis and Alexander. When the police officers attempted to enter the house, they said they were greeted with gunfire. Police officers returned fire, and upon opening the door, they found St. Louis and Alexander with gunshot injuries about their bodies. Police said St. Louis may have been trying to use his wife as a human shield. They were taken to the Traguanas health facility where they were pronounced dead on arrival. A firearm with an extended magazine was found at the scene. Residents of the area, however, told a different story. I quote, "When the police arrived, they just opened the door. We heard that. They didn't announce themselves or anything. They just opened the door and there was a pause. Then there were 4 shots, spaced out kind of. After a few seconds, there was another set of gunshots, this time rapid, one after another. Then we heard the baby crying, and when we went outside, we saw it was the police," end of quote, a resident said. Several others who did not want to be identified claimed St. Louis and Alexander were fatally shot in front of the woman's 3-year-old child. Prisons Commissioner Dennis Polchant said he had been made aware of the allegation that there was a conspiracy to kill him, but he was not going to let that distract him. There have been 28 police-involved killings for the year so far. And in Jamaica, more than half of the 143 doctors who were last month left jobless after their contracts with state-run facilities were not renewed have moved on to brighter prospects, even as the government, now faced with caseloads which outmatch manpower, says it is heading to cabinet to get approval to create more posts. Jamaica Medical Doctors Association JMDA President Dr. Mindy Fitz-Henley said that a number of the ACT's medics have left the country, others have found jobs outside the public sector, while some were taken back by the government. She said only 52 doctors of the 143 still remain unemployed. Thursday alone saw 360 new cases of the virus being confirmed, bringing to 55,456 the total confirmed cases in the island since the first case was reported last year, March. An additional 10 deaths pushed the fatalities so far to 1,241. The revelation comes as the island's public hospitals have run out of bed spaces allocated for COVID-19 patients, amidst a sharp spike in the number of new cases resulting in hospitalizations exceeding staffing capacity. And finally, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said both common law and statute laws allow for a member of parliament to have the right of, I quote, unhindered access, end of quote, to and egress from parliament and its precincts. I quote, "I for one will never allow the crazies and their fellow travelers to hinder or impede my access to parliament. I will walk again as I did on August 5th if needs be, and let the silly ones blame the victim in his exercise of his rights," end of quote, Gonsalves added. In a statement, Gonsalves, who suffered an injury last Thursday when supporters of the New Development Party (NDP) and 2 public sector trade unions staged a protest outside the Parliament building against plans by his government to have frontline workers vaccinated against the coronavirus pandemic, said 2 pieces of legislation addressed the issue of unhindered access to Parliament by legislators. That was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining.